you updated on what's going on this Steelers and Buffalo Bills game as we get you ready for tonight's action here. Yeah, I just tweeted out too. Micah Parsons is not better than Seth Joyner. I have no problem saying that. I have no problem with that. I mean, I think he does one thing well, and I think he does everything else okay. I do not personally think that he's I don't think he's a complete ball player. I think he's okay. That had to have been okay. That had to have been one of the most disappointing moments in Jerry Jones's time owning the Dallas Cowboys. Had to have been. When you think about where and how they were perceived going into the playoffs this year and what people thought that was his best. I think that's Jerry Jones's last opportunity, in my opinion, for him to win a Super Bowl. Next year, you have a ton of free agents. Hey, you want to hear something? I do think the Cowboys finish in last place in the NFC East next year. Look at all the free agents you have. Are you really going to give CeeDee Lamb $25 million? You're going to give Dak $55 million? Are you going to turn around and give Micah Parsons $30 million? What about Tyron Smith? What are you going to do with him? He's a free agent too. Look at all the players that you have on that football team that are going to be free agents. There are a ton of people. They did a really nice job on the field, by the way. They got a lot of the snow off the field in Orchard Park. So, again, we'll keep you updated on what's going on there as the game goes on here. Be interesting to see what the Commanders do and who they hire. But look at all the free agents they have. They have an absolutely ton of free agents. Gary Cobb, by the way, will join us from Fox 29. He does the pre- and post-game show for Fox 29 in Philadelphia, covering the Philadelphia Eagles. So he's going to join us here in a couple minutes, and we'll get his take on how he sees this game going into tonight. Look, I say this to you with great respect tonight, and I appreciate what Tone said going into this game, that really this is really going to be all on the quarterback tonight. What is Jalen and how is Jalen going to be able to handle the blitz tonight? I think Todd Bowles is going to blitz the living hell out of the Eagles tonight. The power game has not been there all year long. They're last in yards after contact. They're first in pressure. I mean, teams are coming after Jalen Hurts and the passing game. And that's what I think is causing a lot of the high turnovers, is that they're bringing a lot of pressure. Make no mistake about it. Todd Bowles is going to take a look at what Wink Martindale did in the last the last regular season game. And 8 of Jalen's INTs came after being blitzed. I'm just going to tell but see, the offense and the offensive coordinator and the game plan, they should be countering that. They should be running plays to take some of that pressure off him. In-game adjustments. That's why I tell you, when I went back and watched 3 of the last 3 games that they've played, and you watch them, the scheme is so average. It is so average, the schemes. And then when you take into that it's the most blitzed offense in football, you got a remedy for turnovers. Holding the ball too long because the routes are not well designed. I got to tell you, once again, we pointed this out earlier. The design routes for AJ look way more like creative and designed for him. And then you turn around and you watch the rest of the guys. They don't seem to have quality route trees. They don't seem to. And again, I think what happens is when you're watching playoff football, you get more of a sense of it. And you can see it when you're watching, like I said, you're watching Nico Collins get open. You're watching Puka Nacua get open. You're watching some of these other guys get open. You start to go like this. Holy shit, look at the designs that Sean McVay has in his offensive route tree. Look, I mean, even Matthew Stafford took a beating in that ball game yesterday. But I thought he played great. And I thought the Rams were at a point where they were going to win that ball game yesterday. I did. I thought he played really good football. Jared Goff, good for him, man. I said this before and I'll say it again. I think Jared Goff easily and has to be one of the most underappreciated guys in the National Football League, man, because what he's accomplished. How about this? This guy won a home game, a playoff home game in Detroit, where they haven't had one in 30 plus years. They haven't had a playoff win in 30 years. And here they get a home and they get a playoff win at home in Detroit for the fan base. They've done a hell of a job, man, with Jared Goff. And Jared Goff, I got to tell you, good for you, dude. You were supposed to be kind of like the throw-in on the Stafford deal. I thought they sent him to Detroit to be – there was a point, I don't know about you guys, but to me, didn't you think that Goff was going to be a bridge quarterback for Detroit to go into the draft and find a guy and replace him? I thought he was going to become a bridge quarterback. Instead, he's a franchise quarterback. Any franchise in the National Football League would be proud to have that guy as the signal caller of your football team. That guy puts up huge numbers. He's a winner. How many times have you watched him beat Patrick Mahomes or beat some of the bigger guys in the league? He's a good football player. When I saw him a couple of years back when I think Jeff Fisher was his coach, I said, this guy's terrible. He'll never make it in the NFL. And then they get him a quality guy. I saw Sean McVay make a great comment today, and I happen to agree, and I happen to believe. And I believe Sean McVay when he says he's happy for Jared Goff. I do. I think he's happy for him. But this guy's gone up there and changed the landscape and the culture up there in Detroit. And I think that's one of the most incredible accomplishments. Matthew Stafford had no postseason success whatsoever. Khalid goes like this: we are done for tonight. I don't know that. I don't think you're winning tonight. But dude, you got to play with some energy tonight. You can't go into that football game like you did against the New York Giants and not have any heart tonight. Because if you go into that game and you look like the Cowboys or you look like you did against the Giants, you got major problems, and Nick Sirianni will not survive that. If they play hard tonight, they lose 21-20. They've had a lot of turmoil, and they lose that. They'll probably change the coordinators out. And I heard Tone talking about something he and I talked about, and him and Rob were talking about it. Who's got the leverage? I'm going to make a point to you here. If I'm Nick Sirianni and I had put the team into a position where they've made the playoffs 3 years in a row, and you start talking shit to me in a meeting, I'll resign. There's a better chance of me getting a job if I resign than me getting fired. I can always come out and go like this. Look at my record the last 3 years. Look at what I've done. I decided to go into a different direction, and he'll get it. Don't you agree? Think about this. Don't you think there's a better chance of Sirianni getting a job if he resigns versus being fired? That's the point. We don't want to win. We want these coaches gone. Think about that think about that. I want to have my own control of my own destiny. You know what my leverage is, Tone? My leverage is that I put a team in the playoffs 3 years in a row. I was in a Super Bowl 12 months ago. I won an NFC championship. Things got a little haywire with some things in management. Organizations are going to overcome that. And organizations are going to look at because of a little discord that's going on upstairs. Happens all the time. But if he resigns, he has the leverage then. I'm walking out. I'm not putting up with that. Because if he gets fired, it'd be hard-pressed for him to get a job. Why'd you get fired? What happened? Well, he wasn't really the coach. Because then he gets Doug resigned. Or was Doug fired? What was it? The parting of mutual ways. Was it that what it was? Okay. Think about what Yale said. Okay, so Sirianni takes a 4-11-1 team over. Right? Takes a 4-11-1 team over. They go to the playoffs against Brady and the Bucs down in Tampa. They get to the Super Bowl the following year. They turn around and win 11 ball games. And they're the 5 seed. And they get beat by a point in Tampa. Okay, well, there's a lot of job openings right now. And he would be interviewed immediately if he resigned. He gets fired? He may not be. Why would you fire a winning coach? You can't explain that. But if you walk away, you can go, we parted on mutual disagreements. For your job security, you need to get the leverage on your side. You can't have the Eagles have leverage over you. You can't. That's Doug's leverage was the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl win. That's right, Yale. Still excellent. I mean, Matt Nagy got a job again. Todd Bowles got a job again. If you resign, you're going to get a job right away. One of those jobs could land for you. Hey, I turned something around. I didn't like the way things were going. They wanted to do something different. Maybe the next time you walk into a building, you'll have more say too, if you do it that way. I'm telling you, I would not let Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie dictate my future by firing me if they lose tonight. You cannot have that for your own job security. You're going to let him fire you? For what? For listening to management? You're going to get yourself fired because you did what you were told to do. That's not a way to get fired. Big Sills, we're really done with these coaches. We care little about Sirianni's future in delivering soft flower speeches. I get it. But you got to remember too, Marshall, if he resigns, at least the owner then says, wow, we didn't get a chance to get a pelt on the wall. Okay. They'll just hire the next Sirianni 2.0. Remember that. What you're trying to avoid is the repeating of the same thing and the same situation. We're efforting our friend Gary Cobb. Hopefully, Gary, I know he's busy right now, especially with Monday Night Football tonight for Fox 29. Hopefully, we're able to catch up with him. I know Angelo Cataldi's with us tomorrow, as you guys know. It'll be tonight is going to be some ball game for the future of so many guys. By the way, Tony and I were talking about Jalen. Can Jalen Hurts' reputation be injured tonight? Can Hurts' reputation be hurt tonight? Can it be? Philly says yes. Chip, yes. I'll say this to you. Here's my take on that. I think it's how he handles it and how he handles tonight. Is Jalen going to have authority tonight and take control of the team tonight? Is his leadership going to come out tonight? Is he going to put the team on his back tonight? Is he going to be vocal after the game, during the game, on the sidelines? I need to see a ton of leadership tonight from him because they're going to need it. This will be the toughest game that Jalen Hurts has ever played as an Eagle tonight. Chips are down. Very few think they can win. Organization may be wobbling a little bit with him. Hurts his teammates. This is a big moment for him. This is one of those seminal moments in a player's career. Like last night was a seminal moment for Dak. Did you not do this with Dak Prescott? Dude, it's over. I don't know what you do in Dallas, and I don't know if you can do anything else in Dallas. Didn't you say that? That's what I said. I came away last night with Dak and I went, dude, you need a new place. You need a new zip code because it ain't working for you in Dallas. It'll never work for you in Dallas, Texas. You got to get the hell out of Dallas. It's just not working. I don't know if the Cowboys want you back. I don't know if you want to go back. What's the point? I mean, where are you going? Didn't you say that? Right? He has to prove he can win big without A.J. Brown. Every quarterback has a handful of boxes that always needs to be checked. Hurts has to prove he's the franchise. I'll put it to you this way. If Jalen Hurts wins this game tonight without A.J. Brown, he'll prove to me he can do some of the things that Josh Allen can do. And also Lamar Jackson and Mahomes. You start to get in that category. That when some players, like Brock Purdy's not in that category. Brock Purdy can't win without pieces around him. He has not proven that. And as a matter of fact, I'll even make this point. To some extent, nor has Joe Burrow. Nor has Joe Burrow done that. Okay? Nor has he done that. So far, he proved he can win without Lane, which is huge. Which is absolutely huge. No question. Hey, T. Will, he wins that. Get this. He wins tonight. Okay? He wins tonight. LJ goes, Lamar hasn't won shit yet. Neither is your guy. Your guy won a second place trophy. Congratulations. He hasn't won anything. Dude, you don't get extra credit for showing up to the game and losing it. Stop doing that. Lamar's had a better season. He's going to win his second MVP, and he's a year older. You can make the argument all you want for Jalen. The guy in Baltimore is more accomplished. He's got the hardware to prove it. Say whatever you want. Anyway. Yeah, he checks that box tonight. And even it's against the Bucs. See, Look at this. Look at what's happened. Remember I gave you guys a comment last year, and I said this. Remember something. This may be as great as it ever gets for Hurts. That 2022 team may be as great of a football team as he'll ever play on. Jalen Hurts may never play on another football team as long as he lives like the 22 team. He may never play on a team like that again. You know how rare a team like that is? They come around generationally when you have that kind of talent on a football team at one time. Like the Brady undefeated team. Okay? Very few times. Hurts may never. Okay? Hurts may never be in a position like that again. I'll tell you one thing, guys. For sure against Pittsburgh right now, just to give you guys, just as we do a little bit of in-game here, Buffalo is doing a heck of a job running the ball. That guy, Joe Brady, has done one whale of a job at putting a run game together around Josh Allen. They are just running the football right down the Steelers' throats right now. They've done a nice job of taking some of the snow, a lot of the snow off the ground. And Buffalo's ground game right now is totally getting it done. So, boy, I'll tell you what, Buffalo and Baltimore in the AFC Championship game, absolutely, man. Man, the Bills look good. Bills look great. Touchdown. Whew. Wow. Unbelievable. All right. I'm going to take a look at the weekend's games. We'll keep an eye on what's going on here as well. Hopefully we're able to run down our friend Gary Cobb. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Football and Hooters, the perfect pair.